Alright, so how are we going to remember what the string shapes are? There's one way to do it. That's a pretty good way, but it didn't work out as good as I wanted it to work out. And I was trying to explain to my friend yesterday that uh, you could look at the C box and get the string shapes there. And lo and behold, the D string is the D shape. Okay, and but that's about the only one that is the same thing as that shape. Even if we look at the magic fret, which is over here, okay, because the magic fret's always the sixth. We have I guess the E string. It doesn't seem to be any E string. The only E shape that's in the E string is in the E box. Okay, so, but it's easy to look at in this way if you look at this. Look at the string circle starting from C. Now these little letters help you spell caged. So it's Caged, Caged. So it spells caged if you go around the string circle. There's the little string, remind you it's a string circle. And it's a string shaped circle actually, right? If you go in fifths, it's CGDAE. And if you look at over here, the C box, the C cage, you have CGDAEC. That's G for the next box over, caged there. So once again, we get the CGDAE. CGDAE is one way to look at the string circle, from the C box to make it easy if you want to look at it going around the string circle. Now, what also I find on this diagram, and now we're going to pick up the pace a little bit here, okay, and that is this diagram I made here, which is the pattern building continuous circle. So within this CGDAEC, we can simplify it and just put the letters there. And remember our friend the S2L? S2L and the S3L? Okay, here's an S2L right here. They're all over the place on the fretboard, right? And here is the S3L, right? So here's our S3L, 3-string building block. So 1, 2, 3 right there in the purple. And then the pattern repeats, 6-string. S2L is right there, just with the letters. I added in a little region here where on the string shaped circle, the string shaped circle, the S2L is always going to occupy the C and the G shapes. That is interesting. On the other 3/5 of the string shaped circle, remember it's a 6-string guitar, but it starts repeating again. So we always have the bottom and the top string are the same, because the top string is starting the pattern over again. Coffee is the only thing I have to bring me around in the morning. And then I have a little bit left over bucked up out in my car once that gets me started every time. So the S3L takes 3 of those string shapes. So can anyone look at this diagram and tell me where the S2Ls and the S3Ls are? What's the S2L? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 roots. So that's right down here, and you'll always see that in the C cage. You'll see always starts with that long interval there. Well, that certainly didn't give us a good C sound, because it sounded something more like a pentatonic. So you got to be careful like that, because when you're doing a 3, 5, a 6, and a root, you're doing a C chord, but it's a C6 chord. So it would have been nicer just to play an A minor there. Maybe. Anyway, so let's look now. So there's our S2L, all right, occupying the C and the G region, and then S3L. What do we got? We got pretty much the Dorian scale there, going from 2 to 2. Textbook definition of a Dorian goes from the second scale degree to the second scale degree. Dorian in E would be, let me do this. Okay, Dorian in A would be Dorian in C. Okay, it's kind of a mellow thing, and that is really defining your S3L right there. What are the three shapes that we're defining right there? D, A, and E. The shapes are called the string shapes. Okay, so it's the D string shape 2, 3, 4, the A string shape 5, 6. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's just a note. 7, root 2. So this is an interesting way, because remember, this is going to be the same everywhere. Everywhere that you have the string shapes, and they're kind of divided across the fretboard, you're going to see that the C and the G will always be the S2L, and the DAE will always be the S3L. So let's look at something that has a D on the bottom. Okay, right here we have the D box. I have it down here. All right, I can play a little lower. So with the D shape, we got DAE, so it's just D, A, E. And then we go to the CG shape. Warp up for that G shape. Okay, then we start again, D shape. I can play that C because I know it was a Dorian second. And that gives us our D shape C. Should play that one. So it works. It works. So there's repeatability. You see the same string shapes all over the place. You'll see the same S3Ls and S2Ls all over the place. When we look at, let's say, this box here, all right, what box is it? Well, that's the C box. We already looked at that. So let's look at the A box. We're running out of time. So we're going to look at the A box here. The first thing to do is recognize the box, right? So we don't have a full S3L on the bottom here. We have just the A and the E part of that S3L for the beginning of the A box. Then we have a full S2L CG, and then we have the bottom part of an S3L DA.